Welcome to the Mother May I podcast with Frank and Irene on Strong Island Entertainment. Gee, I hope I didn't make a mistake with these two. They promised me they'd bring in some really good guests. Well, anyway, here's Frank and Irene.
What's up? What's going on, buddy? How's it going?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing really good. And while he's on the screen, let's just introduce him right now. He's on with us. One of my favorite people, Frank, in the world. And I ran into him at a wedding and it was so awesome. So happy to see him. Mr. David Hodorowski, everybody. Woo! Clap it up.
You're so lucky. Run into me.
David, sweetie. So it was so great to see you at this wedding. You were like the main event for me, other than Shecky and Ken. So it was amazing to see you. I haven't seen you in a long time because we used to do open mics, Frank, at the duplex, but they were kind of refined open mics.
Cool.
Right?
I never did the open mic at the duplex. I always heard good things about it.
It was good times. Wednesday nights. I hope they bring it back.
I hope they bring it back too. It was Wednesday nights. It was a loving audience. And what I liked about it, it was kind of like a mixed, veteran comics and newbies and everybody was very supportive. So it was I miss those days. Not enough, but I do miss them a little bit.
Absolutely. We have big shout out though to Poppy Kramer, who put that show together. She was there for almost 20 years. We love her.
Oh my God.
Every day of my life.
Okay, Frank, did you ever have the pleasure of meeting the one and only, the beautiful Poppy Kramer?
I don't think I did. Or if I did, I'm shallow and I don't remember.
No, you would remember her. And you're not shallow, but she imprints in the brain quite, she permeates anybody's memory bank. She was wonderful and one of the best people that I know. What a funny talent, and tragically passed away. How many years ago now, David?
It's gonna be 3 years this year, sadly.
3 years.
She's in our hearts and minds every single day, but she put Suddenly Stand Up together at the duplex.
Right.
And she really created that vibe that people just want to go to. I think it's the best open mic room in the city, hands down, because you get talked back to. I love Danny McWilliams on as the host, or Michael Brill when he was doing it. But right now, Danny was doing it, and I hope it comes back now.
Me too.
Maybe in the middle of the summer or something, but that's the best room. Everybody's supportive, and it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Irene, wasn't it the duplex where you and I sang?
That's where we taped our album. Yep, in the theater upstairs. Yeah, and I wanted to tape the second one upstairs as well. But the duplex to me is home. You know what I mean? It's just
absolutely.
It's so amazing. Mike Brill is so fun, Frank. You would love him because he's one of these quick people. He's on the mic and he actually heckles you while you're doing your set, but it's done in such a loving way and it's so hilarious. Normally you'd be like, shut the fuck up to anybody who would heckle you.
Right.
Of your set, but very, very fun set. And Poppy is the creator of this. So now, David, what have you been doing, sweet boy?
Pretty much. I haven't left the house since till the wedding, so that was nice for a year and a half. It was really great. No, I haven't really been doing much. I've just been chilling out, emergency.
Chilling out. Look at his background.
That's a great backdrop. It looks like like a bridge or something?
Yes, it is.
I think it's London Bridge.
London Bridge. It's painted on the wall, right? No, I mean, we're doing a podcast.
I was unemployed when I moved in here in 2007 and was like, hey, I need a project. There you go.
There you go. So when I saw Frank, we went to a wedding for another comic, Shecky Beagleman. I don't know if you know her. She got married after 40 years, and I hope she wasn't rushing into it. Honestly, I really do.
Was she with the guy for 40 years?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. And so they decided to take that fucking plunge into marriage. But first of all, David, they asked me to officiate the wedding, and I immediately said yes. And then I was like, no, you need somebody professional, because I felt like I was going to be, I felt inadequate.
Irene Bremis and professional don't go together.
They don't go together. And I want them to be married. Okay. I want it to take. But they did one of the funniest things, Frank. I wish you were there. You would have loved it. They did this whole exchanging of the vows where they did, do you vow? And then they would have a joke.
I vow to never wake you up in the middle of the night, going to the bathroom, blah, 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 bullshit like that. So funny. They were. I vow. It was very funny. I can't do any of their jokes or their stories.
I think that's only okay if it's a 40-year relationship when they do that. Otherwise, if you're the fact that you came up with a funny routine. But if you've been together that long, then of course I think it's natural to do something like that.
Right.
And it was 50%.
It was really great. And one of my favorite parts, David, and I think you'll probably agree, Danny went around and told everybody to, when they said, does anybody object to this union, everybody raised their hand up. It was really...
everybody had a moment. It was nice to everybody objects.
It was really nice. So you haven't been doing stand-up, as none of us have been doing stand-up. I haven't been doing stand-up. You know, I was locked in like everybody else, and I just actually started doing I did a couple of Zoom shows, but live audiences. I'm just starting to get back into it. So how does it feel? Do you feel like you miss it at all, or?
I would not want to do a Zoom comedy show.
Right, it's not fun.
I can tell you that much. And I don't want to go to some parking lot and do stand up to people in cars.
Right.
No. I want it to be in a room. You want to be, it's going to be happening now.
Right.
So I'm glad it's coming back. Comedy. We need it.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Where do you even start now?
I did my first set last week. First set in like probably 15 months. And
that's amazing. You know, Periel told me, she emailed me and she said that Judy Gold's son booked you, but that's her show. See you next Tuesday. AKA, right. You know. Anyway, so so how was it after 15 months?
It was great. I had I told you last week that I was inspired by you and Carmen Lynch because you guys kept talking about how you were doing all new material for the post-pandemic, and I didn't do all new material, but I made a point of having new stuff when I went.
I love it. I bet it was so hilarious. I wish I could have been there actually.
Yeah, it was fun. And this Friday I'm doing Littlefield, but it's not stand up. It's Lane Moore's Tinder Live show, which is a really
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, David is one of the funniest guys that I know. David, I really hope you really are. You're one of the sweetest and funniest. The only flaw that you have is that you're from Wisconsin.
That's a
major flaw. That's not a flaw. I love Wisconsin.
Whatever.
I'm kidding.
We've got a little Wisconsin connection because she was a Superior girl.
Well, nothing superior about that college. It was called Superior. I went to Superior at UWS Superior in Wisconsin. Frank actually also spent a lot of his career.
What part of Wisconsin are you from?
I'm a Blue Gold. I actually went to University of Wisconsin Eau Claire for 2 years as well.
Can you bring Frank on? I'm so sorry. I'm just blurting it out. But Bobby, if you can hear me, can you bring Mr. Frank Liotti on? Oh, there he is. Okay. Oh my God, he's gorgeous. Let's just say it now. Okay, get it out of the way. We're all envisioning, right? We're all visualizing fucking you right now, Mr. Frank Liotti. Frank Conniff. He told me. He told me with his mind. What's going on, sweet man? How are you?
Hi, David. Hi, Irene.
Do you know Mr. Frank Conniff? You guys need to know each other. Frank Conniff is one of the funniest men in this business, and these two boys are definitely on fire in this business.
Nice to meet you.
What's going on? Is that your real name? I mean, this is the first time I'm seeing it. It's Frank.
Well, it says Vigliotti here because I use that for class because that's my real name. But I used to use Liotti when I thought I was going to have a career when I wasted 25 years and $150,000 in grad school.
Thanks, Yale.
Everyone's retarded and no one can pronounce it in show business. So
it's so sad. It's such a simple thing. Vigliotti. I can do it, sweetie.
Vigliotti.
Frank here is you're a very talented man. He actually went, where did you go? Did you go to Dartmouth for acting? Yale. You went to Yale? Acting school? No, where did you go? Yale? Was it Yale?
I went to Yale Drama. But honestly, what was better than that was SUNY Purchase, a little school that nobody knows, a little state school. It was much better. It was amazing. Amazing.
Right. But you're an extraordinary actor. and a very funny comic. And now it seems like you're switching gears. I didn't ask the questions because I wanted to take the opportunity to talk about it on the show. But what's going on?
It's been 25 years as an actor and 12 as a comic.
Okay.
And I couldn't even get that old cunt at Comedy Cellar to look at me. No matter how many people would send her my tape, she wouldn't even give me an audition. And I think that was just the straw that broke the camel's back.
Hold on a second. Can we please talk about this? I need to fucking talk about this immediately.
Yeah.
She saw your tape and totally.
I don't even know if she looked
hilarious.
At it. I don't even know if she looked at it. I think Jessica sent it to her. I know Lenny Marcus followed up a couple of times. Like he tried. Bobby Kelly introduced me to her. I think DeStefano tried. I think Emma even might have put in a good word, and she would not see me. Wouldn't see me. But my point is, there are a lot of Esties in the world. You know what I mean? Yes. I just think that after all of those years of paying my dues and doing open mics and doing road work and starting my own bar shows and getting trained and going to Yale and Purchase and working in restaurants for 30 years. And then I remember she put her hand up to my face.
Who did?
When Jessica was like, go up to her. And I tried to, and she went like that and walked away from me.
Wow.
And
no,
I thought it was just between that and like the Italian American thing in show business.
That the way she that's fucking horrible. Do you have her email?
Gmail.com.
Frank, I find that so hard to believe because not only are you like literally one of the funniest dudes in this business and one of the smartest, but also like you're one of the kindest. You gave me such opportunities as a comic to grow, and I will always be indebted to you. You helped me so much. You helped me with my album. You helped me with my album. You helped me with you had that awesome show at oh my God, I've got like hormonal brain damage. I really do. But remember you were doing that show and you would always headline me and help me grow. You're like seriously one of the kindest.
To me it's always like I never understood why so many people were so afraid or hesitant to help other people out. There seems to be no other way. And I sound like I'm playing the martyr, but there's not. If you're not related to somebody, there's no other way. So when I see people that are so afraid, like I know DeStefano, I think really went to bat for me.
Wow. You know? And he's a heavy hitter there. He's a heavy hitter there.
Really, like as far as just all around support, DeStefano is amazing. But I think other people are just scared, you know, but there's only so much I can blame other people. After a while, you have to say to yourself, or I had to say to myself, there's something I'm giving that they're not getting. There's something that they're just not biting, you know, because then you'll see someone new get management in a year or two. And I'm like, like how many festivals do I have to place or win or whatever? Or how many fucking years do I have to spend getting leathery and tough and getting those punchlines? After a while, like I know I'm funny. I know I'm not hacky. I know I'm kind of different. But after a while, you have to say there's something that they're not getting. And I don't want to die in a state hospital. My dad was a janitor. My mom worked in a factory, and I don't have any money. I owe $150,000 to Yale Drama School.
I don't want to end up in a state hospital. That's where my whole family lived before me. So listen, I get it, and you're absolutely right. And it's a tough business, and it's so fear-based. David and Frank, what do you guys think about that with your experiences? I feel like it is kind of one of these things that if you're sitting on the throne or you're in a position, it's just so scary because you never know how it's going to last.
I think that those people that like put their hand up to you.
Oh my God, it's awful.
And I think there's a sense on their part, like, unless I can't feel special unless I diminish somebody else. That's my only way of feeling special. The fact that I have some power in this exclusive spot. And if I'm magnanimous to people, that makes me less special, because that's my whole identity is based around the fact that I have this power and I can exclude people. And those people, there's so many people like that in show business, and it's so frustrating and so hard. And the rest of us, we just have to navigate through that and,
and focus on ourselves, David.
Right.
How do you feel?
And also, I would say go, follow the people that are in your camp, that do support you, that do get you, like gravitate towards them.
Yes,
Good
advice.
Going to lead to where your opportunities are going to be.
Go where the love is.
Your opportunity doesn't necessarily have to be at the place where everybody says you have to succeed at. It can come elsewhere.
Right. Oh, yes. I love that advice. And you know what? Look at people like Michelle Buteau. She wasn't passed at the cellar. They actually wouldn't, she couldn't get passed at the cellar, and she's fucking blowing up like nobody's business right now.
Exactly.
Good
for Michelle. She's fabulous and wonderful.
She is. And she took her own route. Like, I always feel like
you got to tell your own story. You got to keep on telling your own story.
You're so too talented not to continue.
There's a million other things to do. But I did hear through a little bird, Frank, that you're working in speech now.
Oh.
Well, I'm not, I've invested too much time in performing in some way or another to stop. I can't stop, but I need to earn some money where it's not serving artichoke dip, because I'm going to commit suicide. If I have to keep serving people, I'm going to kill myself. If my best friend did, she walked into traffic on Northern State. It's that easy. I need that to stop.
His rant may seem hyperbolic, but unless you've bartended for the 40 years that he and I bartended, I started bartending for many years, 12-hour shifts. I've got a whole art. And waitressing, but bartending, where you literally want to take your own life at some point. You don't want to do it anymore. It's just.
I'm telling you, but I can't. Like I would be lying. I cry myself to sleep 4 out of 7 nights a week at 5 in the morning. Like, I can't. It's the hardest loss ever. I can't live without it. Not bartending, obviously. Performing, I have to do it. So it's 2 years out of my life. I'm going to try and perform while I do it. But I can't walk away from this other thing. Something interesting happened. And yes, I may be addicted to negativity, and I do work on it. But there was a big thing recently with homophobia and what's his name from Montreal? Jeff Singer?
Just for Laughs guy.
The Just for Laughs guy.
Now,
I commented on, and Mehran blew it up, and I commented about Esty, and he was like, she's never homophobic. She's only been supportive of me. Now, Mehran may have not performed at Montreal, but Mateo has, and Jessica has, and he does perform at the Cellar. Right. My point is this: just because one person dodges a bullet doesn't mean that it's okay. When I look at all of the gay, lesbian comics that aren't playing the Cellar, there are Mateo, I don't know if Jim David is still there, Rick Chrome, Emma, Tim Dillon didn't get past, Mehran. What about everybody else? Like, what about Adam Stank? What about Brad Loakley? These people were killers that worked for years and probably couldn't even get an audition. Just because they don't have that cachet or that heat doesn't mean they're not knock it out of the fucking ballpark. David's been doing it for years. I'm sure never auditioned for it. So when Mehran said that, she's not homophobic, I'm like, why? Because you got in and because she's friendly with you? Because Jessica's there at the table? What about the other 100 that have been working forever? And I was like, you know what? I'm off of Facebook. I'm done. And I got off Facebook. I feel like I popped a zit.
Right. Well, you could have gone banned from Facebook like Frank, and he feel like he popped their zit.
Did you get banned forever?
I did get banned, and and I think I'm on the verge of it being forever, because
I thought you said it was forever, Frank.
Yeah, well, they said I could appeal it, but they're not letting me on the site to appeal it. So I think it's going to be forever. And
that's good. It's healthy.
The one thing about it that pisses me off is I want to be able to say, fuck you, Facebook. You can't fire me. I quit. But they're denying me that.
That joy. How dare they, Frank? That's terrible.
Go on. I was the whole Comedy Cellar, Guy Branum years ago wrote a whole post about the about how him being excluded from like the table at the Comedy Cellar,
which is like a metaphor for life, like the top 1% of. It is. It's really frustrating. I never auditioned at the Cellar, never even asked anybody to even put in a good word. Although Carmen Lynch, and I have to say this because she's so sweet, she actually did say she put in a good word for me, but she wasn't familiar with me at all. But for me, it's like, you know, I've been able to focus on doing what I want to do, writing, doing other stuff. So it's so I don't really care. I see that whole situation very clearly, and I won't be judged by it. And I hope to God, you know how talented you are, and try to find, like, I always love the person. My people are the people that take the different route and make it. They're my heroes. Like, I love anybody.
I get it.
Like,
I get it.
I
got burned out. I think I got burned out. But I have to say, like, I'm going to be fair. Like, when I saw that Guy Branum thing initially, I was like, oh, come on. She's not homophobic. You're just miserable and you're mean to everybody. Like, that is what I thought, you know, because he was always like telling people what not to write about, what was and wasn't funny, what was okay and what was PC. And you have no business writing this joke if you're not that person. So I was like, oh, it's sour grapes. So is it that? It could be. I don't know. Maybe she just doesn't think
I worked with him, you know, and I didn't have that personally. I didn't have that experience with Guy, you know.
Right.
You mean a good or a bad experience?
No, it was a good experience. I worked with him. I worked with him on the Kamal Bell show.
Right. So my point is, like, I don't know if it's that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's not homophobia. Maybe she likes her gays effeminate and screaming. You know, maybe she doesn't get the Tim Dillons of the world and me. Even Tim Dillon's huge and blowing up, you know, but maybe it's just, you know, she doesn't, I don't think the business likes what I have to offer.
Well, I think in general, though, I mean,
I don't think so, Frank.
I think that like if someone like Carmen Lynch comes to you and you're like run a comedy club and Carmen Lynch comes to you and says, this Irene Bremis is really funny, you should just automatically give her a spot and check her out. Why does there have to be any bureaucracy about it?
Right.
Someone who's really funny and successful themselves. They're telling you should check this person out. You should have respect for that, and you should just do it.
I think they're afraid of her. They're just like they were afraid of Mitzi Shore.
Well, actually,
that book
Mitzi
dying up here. That guy killed himself. That guy who lost his spot.
It was Carmen actually went to Lenny Marcus, who I don't know at all and doesn't know my act. She didn't go directly to SD because Lenny said they were looking for hosts on the show, and Lenny said that he was unfamiliar, so he couldn't vouch for me. I don't think that Carmen, as hilarious and awesome as she is, it's like there is like a hierarchy there, and even the person that recommends you at the Cellar has to be like, even like in
there is
like huge, like Colin Quinn, or I don't even think that, you know, I mean, I think like a bigger person or like Nikki Glazer or Rachel or somebody like that, but it can't, you know.
I think Jerry Seinfeld to vouch for you, Frank.
Yeah, if it, you know, at this point, if it's that impossible, then it's just not meant to be. You know what I mean? It is.
I'll get Don Rickles to do it then.
Don Rickles.
I don't.
No, I mean, you think you have it bad? They won't even let me have a meal at the restaurant above.
You're banned from the.
They said I'm not right for the room, and to come
at all. He's not right for the booth. He can't even, Frank, I love you so much.
He can't even go to Artichoke Pizza down the block. He can't even go there.
That's not pizza.
I'm banned from McDougal Street.
Yeah. I mean,
you're never going to get to see the tinfoil man again with the tinfoil hair. I love him.
I love him so much. He used to come to the pizzeria that we lost. Rest in peace, Fiore. He's no longer. But he used to sit and drink, and Steve and him will have a beer, and they used to talk for hours. Steve loves him. So I have this picture. I should post it. I love the tinfoil man. But Frank Liotti, because I have to say Frank, or I feel like you're doing various commercials, Mr. Frank Conniff, for sodas every time we do a show, popping in a Diet Coke or ginger ale today. But Frank Liotti, I feel like you are too talented to ever give up. And you know what? A lot of people are confronted with that obstacle in terms of like the Cellar and all that stuff. But I think that you have so much to offer, and what you're, and you know how you said, I don't think, I forget what you said, but they're not buying what I'm selling, whatever. I don't agree with any of that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like on one hand, it's so easy to say, oh, it's because I'm gay. Oh, it's because I'm Italian. But then you do see, I'm really like on the fence. You hear, I'm going back and forth. I don't know what it is, but I think after a while you have to say, you know what, it's just me. Maybe it's all those variables. Maybe it's none of them. You know, I know that
I would tend to think it's not you. It's them. Mm-hmm. It's not you. It's them.
It's not. You're one of the nicest people in this. I love you so much. Like, you're one of the nearest and dearest persons. And David, does this make you feel happier now that you're out of the business?
Absolutely. To not give a shit feels really great. Yeah.
Yeah. I felt like that for a hot minute, like when I was doing my prerequisites for a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, but we were in a pandemic. And then when life started to happen again, and I started to see my friends on TV or in movies working, or my old friends working with different comics now, and, you know, not able to get them on the phone, then it started to fuck with me. And it's been very painful. It was great when the world was stopped.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Study.
Everybody sort of was, you know, furloughed for a year, and now it's like the gravitational pull of reality is set in, and people are going back to work, and it's that whole fucking social media thing, the comparing and the despairing. I always say to myself, stay in your own fucking lane, Irene. Stop looking over here, stop looking over there, because it's enough to drive you crazy. It really, really is. You know?
Once I turned 70, it got impossible to stop looking in the other lanes. You know, I was like, I want that one.
I don't need the Comedy Cellar. I can fail on my own.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Frank. We can fail on
I don't want this journey. I don't even want to hear anyone use the word journey. I want them to die if they use the word journey or path. My path leads to the sump. It doesn't lead to Broadway or Hollywood. I want a different path. Path thing is bullshit.
But the other thing is, I also feel like a lot of the comics at the Cellar are always so afraid, and they also are deeply and viscerally insecure there anyway. Like, they're not in the nucleus of that table, and they're always, you know, kind of like insecure about their spots. It kind of like breeds that environment, which is really unfortunate.
Yeah. I think they're all afraid of her. I don't know why. Like, some really established comics, some famous ones. She's scared. I don't know what they're afraid of. I don't know what it is. You know, they want to keep working there. I don't know. It's like the ones that work in film.
But this is how I view that. And I think Frank and I have talked about this at length. I feel like it's also very, you know, restricting to be at the Cellar, because you're so busy doing that you're not able to like do other things, like write maybe a pilot or try to write like a book or do other things, because you're like in this labyrinth of insanity. You're just going around in that wheel trying, you know, for spots, and you know what I mean? So there's that.
Yeah.
No,
I think it's kind of like a gym, like the way Rocky would train at the gym. I think it's like a really good place to do that. And it is a good place to get seen. Like, if the industry is going to go look for comics, they're going to go there, you know, and it's a good place to work out. I don't think there's another club really quite like it. No. You know, other clubs try, but, you know.
But I mean, you know what, I've been, one thing about me, I'm fucking old. I've been around forever. And in my lifetime, in my career, which goes through decades now, there's always been a club that's like it. And the club that's really happening. You know, when I first started out, it was Catch a Rising Star, you know, and then in LA, it was you know, the Comedy Store for a while. Then it was the Improv. But my point is that stuff really comes and goes. It's not a permanent condition that a place like the Cellar, that
like diabetes. Yeah.
It's the place to be, maybe for now, but maybe next year it won't be. And you know, people create their other scenes. And you know, in LA, when I first moved there, you know, there was the comedy clubs, and then people got frustrated with them, and then an alternative scene started, you know, and then Largo became the hip place to be, and that was just started by other comics. You know, in other words, you don't have to just accept one reality as being definitive.
Yeah.
And that's what we miss about the duplex. It was always so loving, right, David?
Absolutely. Love the duplex.
It was always such a loving environment.
Pool party, R.I.P. the pool party.
Yeah, it was. And the pool party, I remember that. Oh no, your little cat. Frank also has a cat.
He was sitting here. I don't know.
Aww.
Catting
where's Frank's cat is usually in the shot too, but I don't see. There she is. Millie girl. Frank's cat.
Millie.
She's got her ass to us. She doesn't want anything to do with us. She's feeling the conversation might be a little too hostile. But I feel like at first, it could really get to you, Frank Liotti. It could totally get to you. But I think you're so fucking Vigliotti, but you're so talented that I don't want to see you pull out of this fucking arena.
Don't pull out. Come in me.
Pull out. Yeah, don't pull out. Don't ever pull out.
That, the thing is, like, after a while, I think, like I'd walk past a restaurant and I'd see people out to dinner, or I'd be waiting on them. Mm-hmm. Things like that, or driving a car in 90 degrees that's 20 years old with no air conditioner, or not going on vacation, not panicking when you don't have money to pay your phone bill.
Right. No.
It's like after a while, it's like, how long do you pay your dues and not get any payback? 10 becomes 20, becomes 25 years. Then it's like, wow, okay. Am I not supposed to feel anything when I look at a billboard and see someone that started a few years ago? Where every time I turn on the TV, I mean, how do you not feel that? That's what I would love to know.
You're right.
You can't do that. You can't do that. How can you not do that?
Joey Gay used to say, Frank, you know what Joey used to say? I used to ask him if he watched like certain comedies. He said, no, I fucking never put on the TV because I hate seeing people that I know. It's a natural thing because it really, it's like, it makes you feel devalued. It makes you feel like you haven't achieved enough. It's that whole feeling. So I totally get that. I really do. But and you should have all those other things like enjoying life. I feel like we're so glued to social media and to what we're gonna do for the next step in our careers that we're not enjoying life at all. So now what are you studying now? You went to school. You literally started an other career.
Yeah, I did. I was looking at speech pathology, and a lot of it has been like child development stuff, which is not my bag at all. I find like elementary school is really depressing, and it's ugh. But that said, I do like medical speech pathology, and I was going to go to NYU, but it was like no student success specialist, admissions counselor. I don't know who they're hiring at NYU. Or like, wanting to, it's just everybody was idiotic. Like literally, I couldn't get anyone to call me back, or they were illiterate. Like it amazed me that for $1,900 a credit, the people I would run into and that wouldn't call me back. I mean, they were so stupid. I understand like, wanting to hire gay people, say, for example. But the thing is, if they can't do the job, why are they there? You know what I mean?
Yep.
So after a while, I wrote an email asking about a prerequisite about audiology to a professor because I couldn't get my student success specialist to get back to me. And he wrote back, I have no advice, best PBL, whatever his initials were. And I took a picture of that and I posted it and I applied to New York Medical College and I got in. So I'm going there.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted a medically, it all happened for a reason. I wanted like medically based study. So I'm kind of glad.
I'm sorry, but that's like incredible. Are you kidding me right now?
It was cool. So we'll see.
That is really, congratulations. That's like not a small thing. Okay.
Thanks. We'll
wow.
see. We'll see.
Wow. That's incredible. Now, did you have to take like this test or did you have to take?
Did you have to audition and pass? Like
did you have to pass and do your set?
No, it's kind of funny because like everyone's like, oh, well, you went to Yale, you'll be fine. But that wasn't real school. That was like rolling around on the floor and crying. Like that was making noise and playing with letters in the shape of sponges. And it was what I loved to do.
Like, what did you say? What would you say? Do you like, and there he is. I was just saying, I want everybody to meet. We just brought him on because we have a packed show today. Mr. Jason Pollack, everybody. Meet the Franks. You already know Frank Conniff. This is Frank Vigliotti and David Hodorowski.
Hi, Jason.
Hey, Dave. Hey, Frank.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too.
Nice to meet you. Right. Now, Frank, you also, first of all, you were the one that introduced me to Jackson Gay. Do you remember that whole thing when I was doing my one person?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
And she was tremendous. She helped me a lot. I kind of like regret not going further with that show.
She's brilliant. She's brilliant.
Because she really is brilliant. But you also do a podcast.
I do. It's called Jiffy Pop Culture.
Right. Jiffy Pop, and you review movies? Is that what you do?
No, I mean, Isla Mel and I went to performing arts camp together. I always said we went to drama camp together, but I'm not gay, when I was 12. And we used to love John Waters movies and say like Rocky Horror and Ordinary People when we were 12. So we do a lot of movies that we loved. We do a lot of movies that are just idiotic, you know?
I like to see a John Waters take on Ordinary People.
The what?
A John Waters take on Ordinary People.
That would be kind of amazing.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. We just did Ordinary People, which was great, which was fun. And we do a lot of cult movies, and we do some modern stuff. I think our best episode was modern, which was Halston. But, you know, it's with punchlines. It's a common point of view. So we make fun of everything.
The Ian McGregor thing on Netflix?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that was good. I saw that.
The little hot one in the jockstrap is a fan. He listened to our episode. I was so happy.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Victor
Wow.
Hugo.
And you know what I learned from that apparently people did a lot of coke at Studio 54. Who knew?
Yeah, who knew, Frank?
Shocking.
Jesus.
Liza's still there.
That's absolutely shocking. So you, Jason, and Frank all have something in common in terms of like, well, Frank, of course, riffs. I don't know if you knew about his, the Mads. He riffs on this like old movies that are like really, I don't know how you want to describe it, shitty movies.
Cheesy movies.
Cheesy little movies, and he riffs on that. And Jason, you also do a podcast where you're also talking, your podcast is you watch movies and review them, especially horror, which of course is my favorite.
Yeah, the best.
Oh yeah.
Right. Jason, what is the name of your podcast again? I forgot. I'm so sorry.
It's called Hi, I'm Jason.
Hi, I'm Jason. That's so simple. I'm such a dick.
Well, because nobody knows who I am, so I'm thinking, why would they listen to the podcast? And it was Judah Friedlander name dropping. He said, just call it Hi, I'm Jason. Then that way they know you.
Right. And I forgot. That's a cunt move right there. Jason, actually, Frank, you're going to die. Jason wants to bring on somebody from Hellraiser, Clive Barker's Hellraiser.
That's great. That would be amazing.
Is that amazing? I almost creamed my pants, even though I said it was Wes Craven and he had to correct me. But that was fucked up. I had some wine and I was thinking Nightmare on Elm Street. So who's the guy that you were thinking about?
Simon Bamford. Him and Barbie Wilde, they became friends. I used to have a comedy club called Rascals in a hotel called the Crown Plaza where they had horror cons. So when they came through, I was like a kid in a candy store.
Wow.
And I took a couple of the cast members to Walmart. They wanted to see Walmart because they said they don't have one where they live. And I thought, what an opportunity to see real life Cenobites with the ones who played them. So I took them, and it's been a running joke. We've been close ever since.
I am dying to go to one of those conventions. I want to meet Lita Ford from The Runaways. Lita Ford. I'm dying to go to a convention, or the guy from Friday the 13th Part 2 who was in Dress to Kill, who gets stabbed when he's in bed with the woman that became automatic.
I've appeared at a couple of those things myself.
Really?
Horror conventions, yeah.
You know, speaking of, Donna Pescow said that she's too busy to be interviewed on our podcast. And I was like, how many conventions can she possibly be going to?
Who is Donna Pescow?
Donna Pescow.
What?
I'm going to be
gang raped in Saturday Night Fever, and she had
Oh, okay.
He's the one that got.
I was thinking
Donna Pescow's the one that got raped in the back seat, right? Not raped.
I know you're talking about.
She had her own sitcom called Angie, which was really cute.
That's great. I love her.
Yes, I know exactly who you mean.
Very lovable.
I stand corrected.
We had a favorite of ours, Carol Massenberg, when Leroy auditions for the High School of Performing Arts with Shirley, and Shirley doesn't get in and everyone laughs at her when they dance to Red Light. We had her on. She's in the movie Fame, and to us, she was iconic.
Yes.
So that was cool. We had Carney Wilson on.
So how are you getting these people? Are you just hitting them up on Instagram?
Yes. Yeah. Carney Wilson's episode got erased. We had John Patrick Shanley, which was great.
He's a great writer.
Which was fun.
That's great.
Buscemi's brother, Michael Buscemi, Steve Buscemi's brother.
Nice.
Jason, what's your favorite horror movie? I would love to know.
I was going to ask that.
It varies depending on mood.
Mm-hmm.
I get that.
But I just watched one I never saw recently. It was a classic, and I'm obsessed with it now. Called Society.
Oh,
Society. I never heard of that one.
It's a weird movie. I think it's on Shudder or Amazon, or at least
You're not
Amazon
thinking
Prime.
Of In Society with Abbott and Costello.
Completely different.
Oh, okay.
Like old, like 70s or old, like 30s, 40s?
80s.
Oh, I like
older,
that.
like 80s.
I want to ask David. David, what's your favorite horror movie? Do you ever watch horror?
I do. The scariest one, which it was like, it'll just be on Friday. Midsummer. It's happening on Midsummer. I love to get scared during the day. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
I've heard it's
It's fucking crazy.
I've heard that it's really, and my thing is most modern horror movies I don't like, and I had a podcast where we talked about movies, and Carolina Hidalgo is a younger comedian. She loved
Yeah.
she loved horror movies, and Traceable, you and I were like the cranky old guys who didn't really care for them. So
oh my God, I love horror.
I think someone told me Midsommar was made by the same guy that did Heredity.
Hereditary.
Hereditary.
And Hereditary, like I know it was really good for what it was, but I couldn't fucking take it. It was like,
not a feel-good movie. Not really a feel-good movie of the year.
It leaves you with such an eerie feeling, Frank. It's one of the scariest fucking unnerving movies that I've seen, actually, when we're talking about recent horror films. Have you seen it, Frank? Hereditary? It's
we did an episode about it, and I just if it's the same one I'm thinking of, it's the one where the daughter gets
possessed by the grandmother.
her kid gets like her head gets
decapitated on a telephone pole or something.
So here's the movie. This family has the worst possible thing that could possibly happen to anyone happen to them in the worst possible way, and now we're going to spend an hour and a half with them in their house. It's like it's not pleasant for me to watch that, and I know that people love horror movies, modern ones, but I'm more like I love like Bride of Frankenstein and The Night of the Hunter and Psycho. Like older horror movies are more my thing.
I like Psycho. The scariest thing I've ever seen, because I was raised Greek Orthodox, was definitely fucking The Exorcist. I couldn't look at a crucifix ever again. Linda Blair, I saw her in an interview, and she was saying that The Exorcist ruined her life because she was typecasted and she couldn't work again. I'm like, it ruined my relationship with Jesus. I win, okay? Because I could never look at a fucking crucifix again. That was the scariest movie I've ever seen.
Wait, I got one. I realized my all-time favorite, the one movie I never get sick of, is Return of the Living Dead.
So much fun.
Such a fun, really great soundtrack.
Punk rock zombie movie. It's so much fun.
It's perfect.
And I don't love comedy horror, but it's so much fun.
Dawn of the Dead for comedy horror, hands down, one of my favorites.
Ken Foree decides at the end that he wants to live, and they're all out of nowhere. They play the heroic music. And he starts beating up the zombies and waking his way to the helicopter.
When my niece and I went to see Hereditary,
I love her.
Yeah, she's a trip. I love her too. When we left Hereditary, we were like, that wasn't scarier than The Exorcist. What? And then we were driving in the rain, and I looked at her and she looked at me, and we both felt disgusting. So then I saw it again, and then I saw it again, and then we would go and see, like, I don't know, what's his name that has the show on Oprah's network? The guy who does stuff in latex outfits.
Frank?
Who?
The guy who does all the stuff in latex outfits. Oh my God, what's his name? Medea.
Tyler Perry.
Yeah, we went to a Tyler Perry movie the 5th time and walked out and went to see Hereditary again. Like, we just couldn't stop watching it because there was just more and more and more stuff.
Right.
That satanic cult to uncover. And
Speaking of satanic cult, have you ever seen The House of the Devil?
I don't think so.
They did a nice job in that as far as representing the 80s go.
It's so good.
House of the Devil?
The House of the Devil, 2009.
That was Ty Cobb. Ty Cobb. What the hell?
Greta Gerwig's in it. It was I thought it was very
Ty
scary.
Ty West.
I was Maniac.
One of my favorite
with
ones.
Joe Spinell. Yeah. 1980.
Hellraiser, actually, the whole Hellraiser series is one of my favorite horror films ever. I mean, Pinhead. Come on.
Pinhead. After seeing House of the Devil, though, like I had to recite Annie from memory just to go to bed. Like, okay, that's when Miss Hannigan comes in.
Oh,
Like,
Annie,
I fell asleep that night.
there's a horror movie, Annie. Especially
Well,
the one with Jamie Foxx, especially.
In the comic strip, she has those devil eyes. She has those white devil.
Yeah, totally.
Oh yeah, they're all
That's where
zombies.
It all started.
That's scary.
You know what they never talk about anymore? I love the movie Feast. The whole trilogy was a lot of fun.
Which one?
Feast. It was the Project Greenlight film where these monsters take over a bar and you never know who's going to get killed next. It had Henry Rollins, Judah Friedlander, Clu Gulager.
Yeah, Judah Friedlander. I was going to say, was Judah on that? I saw it. I thought it was really good.
It was so much fun.
It's really good. Feast. Judah Friedlander was in that. I remember that. Yeah.
I thought that was a Chris Christie movie. Anyway.
Oh, it should be actually. That's a really good title for Chris. Well, his whole career was a horror, but yes, I agree, Frank, 100%. I think we were talking remakes too, and I told Frank like one of my favorite remakes was The Last House on the Left. If you haven't seen it,
oh my God, I can't. That's one I can't sit through, Frank.
They did a nice job with that.
I cannot. It has that rape in real time. I can't watch. I don't like that horror porn stuff.
Now, when you say rape in real time, it was timed exactly the way the length of time a rape should be.
It's like 9 minutes long of like this girl being raped and tortured.
Yeah, I know that. You know what?
Oh yeah, that was disturbing.
I loved the remake, but those scenes actually also bother me a lot. And I wish
like
I could do
I
without
spit on your
them.
grave. The revenge. They do it so brutally. So when they get revenge, you're rooting for them.
But
that's my problem with modern horror is that the suspense of something bad possibly happening to a person is much more cinematic and much more fun for me than seeing something explicitly something gory and explicit and horrible like a rape. Watching that unfold is not. I'm much more interested in like a suspense, a suspense movie where you're worried for the hero, having something happen to him, and the suspense is whether it will happen to them or not, and how will they prevent it from happening. Whereas in like modern torture porn movies, it's just watching this gruesome stuff, and I'm just a cranky old guy. I don't like
it either, Frank. I agree with you. I love suspense, and I didn't like that scene at all. I agree with both of you when it comes to with the rape scene. One of my favorite all times, though, I just popped into my head was also A Nightmare on Elm Street. That's another one.
Yeah, the first Nightmare on Elm Street was really good.
Frank, I would say I really do agree with you. But I would split the difference because I do like a lot of modern day horror stuff, but what you say also brings to mind, besides like Saw and is the Rob Zombie stuff. It's like when you have nobody to root for, when a girl gets chased, the heroine of the film, and then stabbed 16 times like a Charles Manson murder, then what's the point? Like, I don't want to leave feeling like ugly and horrible. So I really do agree with that. I wouldn't throw a blanket statement and say that's all modern day horror, but that certainly that torture.
Right, it's not everything. It's not everything.
No, it's not everything. And that's what Jason was saying. That's what made Last House on the Left so satisfying, is that the family just
the revenge of all those is great. Like Mother's Day, the original from 1980.
I forgot about that.
When they get revenge, that's all worth it. It's just
very satisfying.
Great, as you were saying. When you have to get through that first half, though, it's awful.
Yeah, it's awful. It's the revenge part that makes it so satisfying. You're absolutely right.
But in the sequel, she lives. Doesn't the daughter live in the sequel? Does she live? The daughter that gets...
Is there a sequel?
In the sequel?
I mean, in the remake. In the remake, she does live. Why? Didn't she live in the... I don't think so. I think
both girls were killed. You're right.
I think so.
My favorite revenge movie is definitely lately, right now, Promising Young Woman. I thought it was great.
I love that.
Movie. Great movie.
Juice Newton playing at the end was perfect.
I have to see it.
Oh, you haven't seen Promising Young Women yet?
No, I got to put it on my watch list.
Highly recommending it to you. I think you'll like it a lot.
Promising Young Women.
Woman. Just one. There's not many promising young women out there.
Okay, that's right. I was overshooting. You're absolutely right. Promising Young Woman. I will watch it. I've never seen it before.
Yeah, it won the Academy Award for Best Screenplay this year.
Okay.
I was shocked. That was a pleasant surprise. to see
Yeah,
that.
and it deservedly so, in my opinion.
Sorry. Oh, gas.
Well, is it gas? Okay, thank God we're on Zoom and we can't
Yeah.
smell it. That's what I like about not being in a studio, sweetie.
Did you have gas?
He said that he had a little gas. I guess we're going to end on gas. Is that what we're doing? We're nearing the end of the hour here, and I want to talk about what everybody's doing. Frank, did you end up going, did you vote? I saw that you did vote for.
Yeah, I voted yes yesterday.
Who did you vote for? Is it too personal or?
No, I voted for Maya Wiley.
Yeah, me too.
Was my but the ranked choice voting was so confusing. I think I think my fifth choice might have been Ed Koch. I mean, it was weird.
It was really weird, Frank. That whole ranking system was really fucking me up. Did you guys get out and vote, or was anybody being?
Yeah, I voted. It's a bubble test. It was not that hard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know,
but I found it a little confusing, Frank. I'm going to have to agree with you because I
everybody over 50 here.
Yeah, exactly. Hello.
I mean, the last time I voted was for Calvin Coolidge, so it was a little hard for me.
I did not vote.
Yeah.
No, I don't care. I just want to make sure I don't kill myself another day. I didn't vote.
No, don't kill yourself.
Well,
or I have to go help retarded kids. Stop it.
Hold on for one more day.
So let me ask you a question. Yes. I have a viewing to go to after this of a really close friend who passed away. One of the nicest people in the world. He made me a Hellraiser puzzle box out of his 3D printer.
Oh my God.
He's got a killer. He made me a cat butt cookie cutter. Wow. Make cat butt shaped cookies with this 3D printer. He said, "I'll make you this if you'd promise to give me a cookie." Never got to give him the cookie. He died too soon. But how do I mention to his wife he's not going to be using that anymore?
Well, just say that you just bring it up like, you know what, he always wanted me to have that. No, that's bitchy. That's like just jumping in the grave.
I got to be subtle about it.
You have to be very subtle, and I'm anything but subtle. So if anybody else can step in and give some fucking discreet
wait till after the wig.
I want Jason to have
subtlety. You don't think Irene Bremis? I'll tell you that. All right, guys, we're nearing the end. I want to make sure everybody talks about like what they're working on and stuff. Frank, we'll start with you and go around the table.
Which Frank?
Frank Liotti. Sorry, you're right. Sorry.
I'm really happy with Jiffy Pop Culture. Wherever you podcast, you can find it.
That's awesome. And it sounds like you're getting some fucking kick-ass, amazing guests, Frank.
Yeah, I got to check you out, Frank.
It's cool. It's a lot of fun.
Very, very cool. Okay, Jason.
I just started doing live shows again. I'm really happy with it. We're working on a new venue in Mount Holly, New Jersey, a theater.
Nice.
It's 2 different rooms for different size shows, and we're just putting this together really fast. We did an outdoor show down the street till this is open. We had an amazing turnout. I'm just really happy with a venue where they give me creative control.
Wow, that's great, Jason. You're the sweetest guy. Also, your podcast.
Oh, my podcast.
Yeah,
to get people to listen to that. It's called Hi, I'm Jason, and we're starting again next Wednesday at 7 o'clock.
Okay, and Frank Liotti, what are your socials?
Oh, Frankaholic at Instagram, and also Jiffy Pop Culture at Instagram. I got off of the rest of the social stuff.
Oh my God! So you're not on Twitter, you're not on Facebook.
No, not anymore. Not anymore.
I swear, I thought you were asking Social Security. I was like, what?
No, not Social Security.
Jiffy Pop Culture on Instagram and Frankaholic on Instagram.
Wonderful. And David Hodorowski, you sweet man.
Oh, let me tell you. Well, it's great. I'm going to be on Conan next week, and then I'm going to be on Jay Leno the week after that, and I'll be on Merv Griffin in August. So it's all up and up. Yeah, no, I'm just looking forward to a fantastic summer.
I love you so much.
Let's party.
Let's party. Let's fucking live life for real. Yeah. But you're so funny. Are you on Twitter or Instagram?
Oh, yeah, it's my name. David Hodorowski at Twitter, and then that Hodorowski kid on Instagram. I'm not going to become your Facebook friend because I have to meet people in person. That's how I do that.
Oh, I love you. I love you. I should get the fuck off of Facebook too. Mr. Conniff?
Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm auditioning to do a Conan show next week. But the next Mads Back show is going to be July 13th at 8 p.m. We're going to be riffing short films, which is always really fun.
Those are my favorites.
Short educational films. And this Friday, I will be at Littlefields in Brooklyn with Elaine Moore, who's awesome, and her show Tinder Live, which is a really fun show. And so people should check that out. And I'm at Frank Conniff on all the social media platforms that I haven't been banned from, which is a smaller group every day. But the ones that I'm not banned from, you can find me there.
Wow. Can I ask where your short films are going to be riffed?
Which ones?
Where the next riffing show you're doing? Where is that?
Yeah, it's online, it's streaming, and it's go to eventbrite.com for tickets.
And Frank, when are they going to bring back the actual go out into like the Alamo draft houses?
That's probably, that won't happen for at least several months. We have a couple of offers in other states right now. Trace Bellew, my partner, is still a little hesitant about going out into the world, and he doesn't feel comfortable yet. So it will happen for sure, but I don't know.
It's not. You'll keep us posted. I have nothing to say except for I'm at Irene Bremis on Twitter and Facebook. I'm going to get the fuck off of Facebook, even if I have to say something, I don't know, completely offensive. And on Instagram at Irene Bremis. And I do this awesome show with Mr. Conniff, and we have our awesome friends on it. And I love you guys for being here today. Thank you so much for joining us for this,
Thank you for having me.
For this hour. Love you guys, and we'll be here next week. We will see you soon.
Thanks for tuning in to the Mother May I podcast with Frank and Irene on Strong Island Entertainment. Check us out next week when Frank and Irene sit down with, you know what? I don't know what these two are going to do next, but we'll see you next week.